Hello world. Today I want to do a project to show how to transfer a TurboGrafx-CD or PC Engine CD ISO onto your Super Nintendo Classic while retaining all the audio music files. So yeah, here's a demonstration of one of the ISOs I recently did on Nason. So I tried this with numerous games, and I'm pretty sure they all work. Even those big games such as Yee's Book 1 and 2. So and now show how to do the Dracula X for this tutorial as well. So yeah, let's take a listen to some of these games. So as you can see, the music tracks are playing CD audio. Now normally what people do is they rip the audio so it could fit into the Super Nintendo. But by doing so, you're playing the game without any of those CD audio tracks, and that's a bit disheartening, at least to me. So this game has some pretty good music. So let's get started. And for this tutorial, I assume you have some basic knowledge in I guess computers, and you're already familiar with RetroArch and modding your Super Nintendo Classic. So this will just be showing the process. I won't be showing how to install modules or anything, but I'll show you which modules you need. Now I've only been doing this for a couple weeks, so I'm not an expert on any of it. So yeah, I'm still not entirely sure, but I've been tinkering around for a while and I got it to work. So let's get started. Now let's start from the beginning. I'm gonna just create a brand new folder and start from scratch. I'm gonna name it PCECD_SNES, and I'll just put it on the desktop and y'all can follow along. Alright, so first program we need, actually I should tell you the concept first. The idea is to degrade the audio. Yeah, so to change the bit rate. So then yeah, so this program I use it's called Fullbar 2000. So we'll be needing that. Yeah, so when you degrade the audio and when you compress it back, it's gonna reduce the file size. Simple enough. Let me copy that in here. Fullbar 2000, and this lets us change the frequencies and bits and sampling rate. I'm not familiar with all that stuff. So next program we need is, actually let's get a game. Since everybody seems to like Castlevania, let's do that. Hold on. I'm starting over from this folder, so I'm gonna drag everything in here. So actually, hold on. Let me get. Yeah, I'm real scattered. So alright. Akumajou Dracula X. This is an English patch, and I trust that y'all already own the game, so you know how it goes. Alright, now that we got our ISO, now another program I use is called TurboRip, and this will extract the disk contents so we can modify the WAV files. And last program we need is CHD mod. Now if you have MAME installed, it comes included, so you can look for it. You could install any MAME. I have it here somewhere. Let me see. So yeah, just grab this CHD man file, copy it. Hold up. Okay, let's drag it in here. And this is all we need for now. I'm doing this unplanned on the fly, so it's not very professional. So let's do this. Alright, so let's extract the Dracula game. It's gonna be in the BinQ format. Alright, and once extracted, we're gonna have to mount it on a virtual drive. Now I personally use Daemon tools. Yeah, I hear people, complain about it, but it's what I'm most familiar with. Any virtual mounting drive software should work. I mean, but yeah, I'll just use this one for now and wait till it gets extracted. Yeah. So the idea of TurboRip, I like doing things one at a time. Some people, they multitask, but it gets real confusing. I'm trying to show how it's done, not showcase a bunch of stuff. So we'll just wait together. So I've only been really experimenting with the SNES games and ROMs, and I've been trying this TurboGrafx thing. Afterwards, I'm gonna try another other consoles, but yeah. So once extracted, there'll be a Q file and a bin or ISO. In this case, it's a I don't know, what is it? It's a bin file. So here's my Daemon tools program right here. I'm gonna mount. Let me get to the desktop real quick. It's gonna mount the Q file. That's gonna create a virtual disk right here. Now, once you pop this in any CD player, it won't actually play any of the game music. It will just play this error message telling you that you need a PC engine to play it. Alright, and now TurboRip, we're going to rip the files that are hidden on the disk. And again, I'm not real, technical with this stuff. I mean, some videos I watch, they can really go in depth with it. I don't even know what most of the stuff are, but I can follow directions. So yeah, my first time experimenting with RetroArch and stuff, I was so confused because it's like confusing. Alright, now what we're going to do now is something called command prompt. Now like the old way that most people do it is they search for command prompt and they open it and they do the DOS commands such as CD, change directory. Now if it's on a desktop, you just put CD desktop, actually desktop, and dir it means directory, and it shows all the files on a desktop. And there's a bunch of files, and here's a shortcut you could do. You could do CD and then tap the first letter of the folder and hit tab, and it'll just finish all the file names that starts with P. And easier way to do it is to if you're on Windows 10, you could just click this navigation bar right here, type CMD, and it automatically opens the directory where you type CMD at, so you don't gotta do the CD desktop thingy. So you type dir for directory to show all the files. And yeah, I don't think this will work on Windows XP, but yeah. So like I said, you can either type in the whole file, TurboRip, or you can just type T, then see how it goes. It automatically fills in. So once you hit TurboRip, it's gonna load the program. Oh wait, no, that's a folder. So CD to go into the TurboRip folder, which is right here. And now dir is show the contents, and we'll be opening up this TurboRip exe. That ain't it. Tab again, right there. Now some people have this error, and you just press enter to skip it. And here it'll show the virtual disk drive on your computer. I only have one, which is the Daemon tool, so I'll just click one. And once I hit enter, it's extracting all the WAV files. Yeah. Oh man, I wanted to show something I completely forgot. So, you know, before anything, we should try compressing a game without any type of modification with Chdman, just to see what the file size is. So let me just copy this whole thing here. Oh man, I'm skipping a lot of things now, huh? But yeah, we should get this out of the way. Alright, so Chdman, what it does is it compresses an ISO or bin file or a game into a smaller size. So here the game is 507 or 495 megabytes uncompressed. So again, CMD. Alright, let's see, Chdman, and here's the command for it. Create CD -- input and the name of the Q file. So I'll just hit tab. That's a bin, that's a no. There's a Q. Alright, -- output. Is it called dash or I don't know. Alright, output. Then I'll just Dracula CHD. You can name anything you want. Okay, what it's doing now is just compressing it down. And a lot of TurboGrafx-CD games, you don't actually have to compress. I mean, you don't have to modify any of the files. Like it may be 200 megabytes or something. And I gotta say that the unusable space on the Super Nintendo Classic is about 260 megabytes. That's like to the limit right there. So that's what we try to aim for. And some games, you know, it's like like even with compression, it's like 400 megabytes. So in that case, you gotta like modify the audios. And well, while it's doing this, let me just show the audio tracks. So the audio is in TurboRip. It creates a folder here, and here's all the WAV files and the hidden data on here. Let's see.
Um gemeinsam die Mächte der Finsternis mit ihrem sündigen Blut zu rufen.
All the WAV files come out to be 449 megabytes. That's way too big for the Super Nintendo Classic. So Oh, let me just show you. What we're going to do now, here's the properties of the audio. This is a standard CD ISO compliant audio disc. Is 44,100 hertz, and it's 16-bit audio.
It is not by my
stereo
own power that I am resurrected.
Alright, and that's where full bar comes in handy. We're gonna change it from 16-bit to 8-bit. Where's full bar? Alright, let's open all those WAV files. Go on the desktop. TurboRip. Alright, let's Control A to grab it all, except this Q file. Like that. Alright. And now we right click and let me stop this. I right click, convert, quick convert. And for output bit depth, change it to 8-bit. Let's convert it. Let's make a new folder and name it compress. Yeah, that's good enough. No, let's change it to recompress, because it's recompressing it. And now it's gonna extract all the audio and reduce the file size. Let's look at our Chdman. What percent is it at? I'll just close this. Alright, it's at 10%, so still a long ways to go for that one. But that's just compressing the ISO without any type of alterations. So it's nothing really interesting over there right now. Oh, okay, this is done. Alright, now in our compressed folder, it converted it all to 8-bit, and now the file size is down to 224. Alright, now you know what, let's make a backup of the original WAV files first, and I'll explain why we do that later. So yeah, just highlight it all, copy. Let's make a folder called I'll just name it OG_wave, original waves. So just in case we screw up or anything, we have a backup. 449. Now what we're going to do is take the recompressed files, highlight it all, copy, and paste it into the root drive, the root directory of the Dracula game, so it'll replace the WAV files. Okay, replace all the audio files. Okay, and now, oh yeah, we need CHD to repackage it. Now, instead of doing the command line thing, I'm gonna just copy this Chdman and put it in the folder where the files are, so that way I don't have to do all that cd ... crap. Alright, now we got Chdman. I'm gonna now here's what I wanted to show you. If you try to compress it like this, Chdman, then loading up the queue, oh wait, create CD input. You might want to make a note of this command so you don't have to in case you forget. Alright, so A Q, alright, output, let's name it Dracula CHD. It's going to give an error because the sample rate is 8, so then yeah, it's not a CD compliant format. So what we're going to have to do is compress it again, but this time after we degrade it down to a 8-bit, we're going to convert it back to 16-bit. And yeah, it's going to, you know, make it compatible. So just make a new folder and let's name it Revert. What the hell? Yeah. Alright, so now we're going to load up the 8-bit waves. Let's remove this. File, add files, recompress, and let's highlight all the files. Do the convert, quick convert again, and this time we'll put it back to 16. And you know, that's the idea of that is sort of like ripping an audio to an MP3, you know, compressing it to, you know, the bit rate to real small, but then once you try to convert it back to a CD and burn it, you have to put it in the, you know, the correct rate. I mean, but even if you convert it back, it's not going to sound as good, but it'll work. But yeah, so what were we doing? Oh, revert. Alright, we're changing it back to 16-bit. I mean, yeah. So here the 8-bit, the file sizes are 224. I'm not sure why this works, but I guess when Chdman, it compresses it again, it's gonna just, you know, do a higher compression job due to the missing bits or whatever. I mean, once you revert it back, it's gonna be 449 again, but once you use Chdman, it'll compress it correctly. So let's just highlight it all, copy. Alright, where we at here? 23%. Okay. Alright, right click, paste, and replace all the files. Yeah, I'm all over the place now. I'm doing this unplanned. So yeah. Before we move forward, let's wait until this completes, because like I said, I don't like doing the multitasking stuff. So I'm just pause the video for now and wait till it complete. Hey guys, we're back. This took about 20 minutes or so. Now what we're doing here is we're just compressing the ISO, no ripping or no audio extracting, just to see what we're working with. So this is actually optional, but I just want to see how much space it is with the full game without any type of altering. So yeah, it's completed. Final ratio 54%. So here we name it Dracula CHD. So the game will be 279 megabytes. So that means it's only about 20 megabytes over the limit. Yeah, so okay. So TurboRip. Now let's go back to what we were doing. We downsampled the bitrate from 16-bit to 8-bit, and then we converted again to 16-bit, and now we're going to compress it. with Chdman again. So let's go to the folder with the WAV files and the Q. Yeah. So go in there and then click the navigation bar, CMD, command prompt. Alright. And now we type CHD tab, create CD, minus input. Oh no, wait. Again, you should type the first letter of the file name. So it's A. Here's the Q. We look for that. Then minus output. And then let's name it Dracula 2. Just because we might do multiple times to test it. Or you can name it whatever you want. Okay. Oh man, we're gonna have to wait another 20 minutes. So yeah, I guess I'll just pause it right here. Hey guys, we're back. I googled it. It's not called a dash or a minus, it's called a hyphen. And a double hyphen is a M dash. So I'll be referring it to that from now on. Thank you, Google. Learn something new every day. So let's see where we're at. Okay, it's at 77%. Still got some time. Thought I would use this time to explain the cores needed. So I'm going to turn on my Super Nintendo Classic. And we're going to open Hakchi. And once again, hopefully you're familiar with how to, add cores and ROMs and all that. So here's modules. And if you go to uninstall modules, it shows you the modules currently installed. So I only have RetroArch, which is required. Extra space, which gives 50 megabytes of extra data space. And it's called, here's what we need, the Mendafen PCE Fast, and this BIOS file right here. Now, when I started, I downloaded this core pack from a user by the name of Kalen K. I think that's how you say it. So, KMFD Maniac. And yeah, so you're gonna have to go digging his videos, and shout out to him. He makes a lot of, great videos and demonstrations. And that's how I got started. I was just observing, even if I don't understand most of what he's saying. It's just fascinating just to see what's possible to do on a Super Nintendo Classic. And yeah, so let me see if I can find it. I think it was a PS1 on SNES Classic. So yeah, I'm just looking for the file that he provided. And maybe you already have it. Just go through your RAR files and search for the right emulator. But yeah, once you find it, you know what to do. Just install and look for it. Yeah, let me see. I think we're almost done. 89. So yeah, it says search for core, and he'll provide a link somewhere. But
This is an introduction to my own personal core set that I've been putting together, revising, otherwise compiling over the last year. And I've had this working fantastic on the NES Classic.
Now, when I first started, I was completely lost.
To make this as compatible with the SNES Classic as well.
Let me pause this. So yeah, this is the type of thing where you have to pretty much be hands-on with it and have experience, because, you know, some of the things you just learn, but you can't just tell somebody. You kind of have to just have a ton of experience and then it just sink in. So yeah, at first I was like cores and modules. But after doing it a while, it becomes second nature and you just know how to do it.
And I've succeeded.
Let me see.
So I'm going to do a brief...
Yeah, shout out to him. So if you want to, you know, go scouring for it somewhere in there. So, and in the future, I would like to try to experiment with Sega CD on the PlayStation also. And the PlayStation, that seems a bit daunting. I hear rebuilding a PlayStation disc is like, it's real complicated. You got to do some, damn, what was it? Because, you know, if the file sizes are different, it just doesn't work. Some LBA crap. Again, I'm not real technical with this stuff, you know. Some people could explain it with ease, and I'm just dumbfounded, like. But, you know, just experiment with it enough times, and eventually you get something to work. 98%. Oh, I hope it didn't freeze. Fuck, did I do something? Man, it's like this thing crashed. Oh, come on. You know what? Let me pause it. Yeah, I don't know why it paused, but apparently if you press a button while it's converting, it just pauses and you gotta press like enter or something. Strange. Anyways, where am I at? Hold on. Give me 1 second. This is to resync the audio again. Okay. Alright, and we're back. I just needed to make sure the audio is working. Okay, so final ratio is 18.1%, which means that's about 18% of the actual ISO file. So we got it down to 93 megabytes. So let's try to transfer this in and see if it'll work. I power it on my Super Nintendo Classic. Open up Hack-Chi. Give it a second, okay. Make sure it's green. Now, alright, so we just drag the CHD file in. Now, what it's doing right here is actually compressing the file to a 7Z format, which is like some zip file. Now we actually have to run this uncompressed. So once it's loaded, we're gonna have to uncheck the compress, and it's gonna take a bit of time, maybe a minute or two, not too long. But yeah, we have to run it uncompressed. Okay, so it's added in, and before we move forward, let me open the Hack-Chi folder. I want to show you where the game is being stored. So it's in Games, SNES, and here it is. Now, I click here to put date modified to show the last file that was transferred. So if I open that folder, as you can see, it's a 7Z file. We just compress. Now what we have to do, I just wanted to show you that. And if you uncompress it here, it will just be a CHD file. And yeah, we give that a second. Wait until it's finished. Because I'm trying to explain in detail what everything is. Because sometimes I follow tutorials and it's like, I can follow, but I'm not grasping exactly what's going on, you know. Yeah, it's like, I know what RAM means. It means random access memory, but what does it mean? You know, we just know what it means, but we don't really know. So, yeah. Okay, it's a CHD file. And here, where it shows bin CHD. But first, let me show you the module. We're using this PCE module or core. And here it shows bin PCE-CD. That's for the CD. So we gotta copy this here. PCE-CD, or you could type it. And replace the CHD, which is the extension for the file we just put in, and make it PCE-CD. And let's rename this file. What is it called? Dracula X PC engine. I know there's another name for it, something with Bond. I don't know. And we'll just add some artwork. I'll just add that. Let's synchronize the game. You know, 94 megabytes. We can actually, what I like to do, since it's only like 20 megabytes, you know, over the limit, I like to like only compress one WAV file, you know, only compress a handful of WAV file, and so we could retain most of the good music, like over 90% of it. So that's pretty cool. I'll show you how to do that, which is optional, because I know some people are like audio files. So I personally, I can't really tell, but just knowing that it's untampered, untouched wood, it's good to know, you know, because you don't really want the quality to be degraded. But let's turn it on and see and check it out. Ready? Turn down the volume a little bit. And here we are with the Super Nintendo. Let's go to more games. Oh. Hold on, give me a second. Gotta get my capture screen working. Alright, so here's Dracula X. Let's run it. Konami.
Vor langer Zeit lebten die Menschen glücklich und zufrieden. Niemand bemerkte den Schatten, der sich langsam über ihnen ausbreitete. Die Dunkelheit trübte ihre Sinne und das Böse fraß sich tief in ihre Seelen. Vom Wahnsinn getrieben schmiedeten sie einen Pakt mit dem
And it's
Teufel.
working.
Zu später Stunde kamen sie zusammen, um
Yeah,
gemeinsam
as I
die Mächte
said,
der Finsternis mit ihrem sündigen Blut zu
even
rufen.
with the
Sie
compressed
zu
audio,
erlösen von
I
ihrer
mean,
sterblichen Existenz,
the
den
altered
Anbeginn
audio
einer neuen Welt
still
vor Augen.
sound pretty much the same to me. It's good enough. Now the next step I want to show you is optional, where you could only compress only a handful of audio files and keep the rest untampered with. I'll show that next, but this is pretty much it. That's how you could convert any game to make it working on the Super Nintendo Classic. So yeah, this ends the tutorial, but next I'll do an extra step to show what I was explaining. So if you want to stick around. And I've tried a lot of games and it all worked so far. Even the biggest games out there. Let's see. I'll just play a minute or two. What the hell? Is that right? Oh. Yeah, I'm playing from my capture screen, so it's a little weird. Game start. I never had a TurboGrafx-CD growing up, and it's quite impressive. It was much popular in Japan. It lasted well into the 90s and competed with the 16-bit era consoles, even though I hear this is really a 16-bit console, but it's more like an 8-bit, but it has a 16-bit GPU. I don't know what that means. It's quite amazing though. But yeah, I was a Nintendo guy. Even though I probably would have had more fun with a TurboGrafx. But then again, you know, it's not like there were many stores that carried them. You know, like I used to rent games back in the days, so. And back then, you had to either, when you buy a game, you pretty much stuck with it for like. You can't. It's not like the internet now. All these games at your fingertips. So. I'm just saying I probably wouldn't have as much fond memories with a TurboGrafx because I probably wouldn't be able to rent games, or I probably wouldn't be able to collect so many games. But with a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo, it's like that's the console all the kids had. So, but the PC Engine, it has so much potential. I'm just researching and I'm like, I only knew one kid with a TurboGrafx. Prepare to witness some scrub-tastic gameplay. I was never really a Castlevania fan. I mean, it was interesting on the Nintendo. But yeah, you know, like RPGs back then, I would have really, that's another reason why I would have really liked it, because as I said, you know, games back then, buy a lousy game, you're stuck with it. And some games, the gameplay, you only have like a couple hours of gameplay. But RPGs, you know, it's like, as a kid, you're like, man, I bet this game's gonna last forever. Because you have so much content in there. And that sort of magic doesn't really have much effect on me now. Back then, you know, you didn't really have much to do. You just play video games or watch talk shows all day. Now with the internet, everybody's just having like instant gratification, you know, like you just go on YouTube and download all the games in the world. Anyways, let's go back to the tutorial. Let me pause it. Hey guys, and we're back. So the tutorial is pretty much completed. You could do this step for any game and it'll work. Now this is an optional step. And let's say you wanna, you wanna keep most of the tracks. So this is what I do. I mean, you wanna keep most of the tracks, with the CD quality without any type of messing around with. So we go back to our OG original WAV files. And this is my method that I do. I just go through every file and see which one I want to keep. So I'll make a folder and put keep. And we'll just listen to the songs one by one. We'll keep that. I'll just, most of it'll fit. We'll just do this as an example, because sometimes you may go overboard. And all right, let's do it. And maybe this much. Oh, one more. And one thing I wanted to tell you was the first audio track, which is not used in any part of the game. Now, what I personally do is I blank it. And you can use any audio program, I guess, to kind of like make it empty audio. But the program I use is, it's an old program. It's called Acid. There's probably better ones out there. I hear Audacity and some other ones, but I'll just use this. You could probably use Sonic Foundry too. Not Sonic Foundry. What? Sony Vegas. All right. So once that is open, can I maneuver? I just drag the WAV file in there. Make it from the beginning. Cancel says it wants to do some BPM shit. Alright, so this is what I do now. I don't think it'll work if you like change the duration or length. I tried it once. I mean, it'll work, but it'll probably mess up the audios and the other games from playing correctly. So first thing I do is I'll make a duplicate track. Alright, so then I just play like maybe a second or two. Okay, and then I'll just delete the rest, split. I'll just delete this. And the bottom track, I just mute it. And see this thing right here, I double click it on the top. And it will just highlight the entire track. So then it'll be blank, pretty much blank. And that'll probably save, how much space will it save? About 8 megabytes. which could be crucial. So I'll just render it. And the settings at default is at the CD settings, 44 100 Hz, 16-bit stereo PC on wave. I'll just save it to the desktop so I'll just forget it. Actually, go to the PCECD SNES folder. Dracula X. No, wait. It's in the TurboRip. Dracula X. And I'll just replace the first track with it. So now if you put it in this CD player, it'll just be a blank audio. Let's check that out. Yeah, it's just blank. So then now, the files that we'll keep, just open this folder and copy it all. And replace the old files, the compressed files. So now you'll have a game with most of the tracks intact without any type of lowering of quality, you know. Even though I personally can't really tell the difference, but those with a trained ear and all you audiophilies, audiophile people can. Oh yeah. And so, you know, CMD and do the whole step over. CHD, tab, A, tab, load up the queue. No, I did it wrong. It's CHD man, create, CD. You know what you should do? You should make a note of it. What the hell? New note. I'll just put notes. And, you know, because I'll be forgetting these command line stuff after a while. So it's good just to keep a note of it. So, what was CHD man? Create CD input file name, and this could be the Q file. Yeah, it's Q. Then output, and then output name. CHD. Make sure the CHD is the end. All right, just save that so you don't forget, because you probably will. Well, I've done it so much I probably won't forget, but if I don't do it for like maybe a month, I'll probably forget. Alright, so create CD input A output and ZZZ, whatever. And yeah, let's wait until this is done and we'll come back shortly. And we're back for the very last time. So let's check out the compression. I named it ZZZ. I do that out of laziness. It's easy to find as the last file on the list. Alright, so now it's down to 206 megabytes. So you can actually add probably like 6 more tracks. I'm not going to do it, but I'm just showing example. So let's see about probably most of it. The reason why is because you got to take into account the compressed audio too. Is probably gonna be about 20 megabytes. So you know, I think you're able to get most of the game, most of the audio intact with Dracula X. Yeah. But some other games, it's a little harder, like the Yeez book 1 and 2. All right, now anything else I wanted to say? And I guess that's it. Hope this was helpful to some people. And I'm gonna try to experiment with the Sega CD next. They have a lot of great games on there, and I want to try the PS1 too. Man, wish someone found a way to like to be able to use like a SD card or something. Yeah, I mean 260 megabytes, that's so small. Alright guys, signing out. Peace. Oh, one last thing I wanted to show. Yeah, we should show the new audio on the SNES to see the difference, I guess. But also, yeah, let's open Hakchi. Now, you know how before when I drag a file in and it took forever to load? Here's a quick way to just you just put it in a folder. Yeah, but earlier I showed you where the games are located inside Hakchi. So open the Hakchi folder, and there's games SNES, and I had it set to date modified to show the last item put in. So here it's called Dracula 2. Now instead of dragging it in, I could just copy. Instead of dragging it in Hakchi, I'll just copy this and put it in the folder that was generated. Alright, and now I'll just rename this. I'll copy the file name, delete it, and I'll name this that. And you can also rename this, but if you do, you gotta make sure the file names go with each other, Alright, so once that's done, just synchronize it, and they'll update without, Hakchi compressing it for you. And let's check out how it'll sound. One last time. Let's do this. Okay, got the Super Nintendo Classic running. Go to our More Games folder, and let's play it.
Vor langer Zeit lebten die Menschen glücklich und
For a
zufrieden.
longest time.
Niemand bemerkte den Schatten, der sich langsam über ihnen ausbreitete.
Oh, and I added a custom frame.
Die Dunkelheit
There's
trübte
tutorials
ihre
on how to do
Sinne
it.
und das Böse fraß sich
Gotta use some
tief in
type
ihre
of
Seelen.
FTP feature inside
Vom
Hakchi.
Wahnsinn getrieben schmiedeten sie einen Pakt mit dem Teufel.
So what y'all think? Sound identical to me.
Zu später Stunde kamen sie zusammen, um gemeinsam die Mächte der Finsternis mit ihrem sündigen Blut zu rufen. Sie zu erlösen von
probably not a
ihrer
bad
sterblichen
idea to,
Existenz, dem Anbeginn einer neuen Welt vor Augen.
the clips with voice acting, because it won't make much of a difference, I don't think. The music tracks, I would prefer to keep those instead. Like, I would like to leave those
Und so begab es
unmodified.
sich, dass nach 100 Jahren das Böse wieder Fleisch
It's a rule
geworden war.
that I personally
Als
use.
unsterbliches Geschöpf der Nacht kann es die Gestalt des Wolfs, der Fledermaus oder des Nebels annehmen. Es labt sich am Blut der Menschen. Dracula, der Fürst der Finsternis, Herr des Teufelsschlosses, ist auferstanden.
Run it back. Aw. Guess I'll just play a little bit. How do you do a backflip? I saw someone doing it. Right. Backflip. I can't do it. I just realized what those this was for. I didn't understand it for a while. I guess you're supposed to collect around 10 or 20 or whatever, and it gives you that power up. I had no idea. I thought it was like those beat 'em ups where we had like we can use it one time only or something. I'm playing from my capture screen. There's no input delay. Pretty neat. Now the buttons on the emulator, the B is to attack and A is to jump. Now the X button, you press that, it turns the turbo on. You press the Y button, it turns the turbo for the attack. So yeah, something to keep in mind. If you want to go to the emulator menu, you press select and start. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with this. One time I was trying to get the audio to work. Like, I replaced the audio with a bunch of blank files once, and the rest of the other audio stopped working. I mean, it's hard to explain, but I'm just saying I thought I did something wrong, but I was messing with the settings, and long story short, I had to just uninstall the RetroArch and reinstall it to make the audio working again. Because you know, if it stopped working, if other emulators stop working, like Super Nintendo main, not Super Nintendo, but SNES 9X 2010 or whatever. So I guess I could end the video here. I feel like I should end it with something interesting and not so uninteresting. Well, alright, bye.